Good morning, friends, thrends, and thramly. It's yet another sunny Saturday here in the United States of Siege, as we are attempting to make heads and tails of everything that happened yesterday. Still processing the loss of one of America's moms, well, one of North America's moms, because she was Canadian, Catherine O'Hara. And Canada, thank you for that, because apparently a lot of good shit comes from Canada that we just never knew we needed to give credit for. Hats off to you, Canada. We still stand with Minnesota, with Maine, with every American fighting for the restoration of, I don't know, common sense and sanity in this country. Because for those of you who don't know, the DOJ decided it was going to release a bunch of Epstein files yesterday. And for the most part, anyone who has even remotely glanced at them, they're still reeling, right? Well, let me rephrase it. Not anyone. Some of us had an inkling as to what was to come out of that, simply because we fucking believe the survivors, right? We believe Sasha, believe Carrie, we believe Amanda, we believe the accounts that have been coming out for I don't know how long, and we understood truth when we heard it. That being said, we can talk about, lion-ass Lindsey Graham, who, by the way, was named by Sasha, trying to hold up some of the bills in we're trying to pass through right now, because he still wants the right for senators to be able to sue after their phone records were utilized in calculating the harm and damage done by January 6th, which was an insurrection, a violent insurrection sparked by Donald Trump. And, that all ties back to the files that needed to be released, that were still being investigated, that we finally got a glimpse of yesterday. That being said, it's heavy, heady shit. And last night I posted a video, incensed, and I think rightfully so, calling for us to storm the Bastille. And I stand by that sentiment. I don't necessarily mean that we got to have pitchforks. I don't mean that we need to necessarily set up a literal guillotine, but rather we need to be willing to recognize that this particular point in history is unique in that for our democracy, there are no safeguards in place to account for this blatant level of corruption, right? Trump stated plainly that he wanted to only staff this administration with loyalists, not with people who might do the best job, maybe know what they're doing, he's going to give them a shot. And that last time it didn't work out so well because people stunted his agenda at every turn. This time he's been left unchecked, and we see how well it goes. I think the best commentary on the administration's effectiveness as far as, well, even covering up the shit, which I think the last round would have been a bit more efficient at, could be summarized by Trump's spontaneous behavior yesterday. Because if you missed that video clip, he did in fact shit himself in the midst of like a presser with his cabinet around him, and they had to usher people out quickly. You can hear the sound on the video. And all I'm going to say is, as someone who's believed Sasha from day one, and, well, let me rephrase it, the day of my awareness, right? Because Sasha's been shouting into the void for over a decade. But as someone who does believe Sasha, all I can think is, yeah, that 10 peg's a bitch, ain't it? Anyways, hopefully that made you grin at least a little bit, because all the shit coming out is heavy. All the survivors out there, I stand with you. My heart is with you. And just like all of y'all, it's a lot. And if you haven't been through anything remotely that dark, it's still a lot. And so as you're trying to process the true scope of the evils that men do and don't want to subject yourself to the files or Melania, I get it. And it's okay. There's a lot to digest. And while we do need to act soon, we also need to be in a state in which we can act. So please take the time to take care of yourself. Eat something, get a little daylight, take a breather, because it's a lot. It's a lot. And in doing so, remember that we can still stand with Minnesota, stand with Maine, honor the memories of all those fallen due to this absolute madness. And more importantly, take that time for self-care to rest up so you can get up and stay up. Because remember, now more than ever is the time for us to rise the fuck